For the next few minutes, I want you to stop looking at the world for proof. Stop checking the outside. Stop asking when it will happen. Because what if the change you have been begging for does not begin out there at all? What if it begins in the quiet voice within you? The one you hear every single day? The one shaping your future while no one else even knows it exists? Listen closely, because this can change the way you live. If for just 3 days you speak to yourself from power instead of fear, from fulfillment instead of lack, from certainty instead of doubt, you can begin a shift that feels almost unreal. Not someday, not after years of struggle. I mean now, I mean within days. And if you stay with me to the end, you will understand exactly how to do it, what to say, what to avoid, and why most people fail right before everything starts to change. So take a breath, stay here, because this is where the new story begins. My dear friend, tonight I want to share a truth so simple that many people miss it, and yet so powerful that it can reshape an entire life. It is this: the way you speak to yourself in silence is shaping everything around you, not just your mood, not just your confidence, your whole experience. The hidden conversations you repeat inside become the pattern of your days, the tone of your relationships, the state of your body, the flow of your money, the quality of your peace. Most people think creation begins with action, but action is only the outer echo. The deeper cause is inner speech. The words whispered in the unseen become the events lived in the seen. And this is why so many remain stuck. They want a new life, but they keep speaking from the old one. They ask for change while mentally rehearsing failure. They say they want love while repeating stories of rejection. They say they want success while privately expecting disappointment. If the inner voice stays the same, the outer picture tends to repeat. That is why for these next 3 days you must become deeply aware of what you are saying within. Not casually, not once in a while. With care, with intention, with loyalty to the life you truly want. This is where change starts. Right here. In the private language of your own mind. You are not being asked to lie to yourself. You are being asked to choose a new position within yourself and remain there long enough for it to feel real. That is the key. You do not speak about what you wish might happen one day. You speak from the reality that your desire is already yours. If you want peace, your inner talk must sound like the voice of someone already at peace. If you want abundance, your inner speech must carry the tone of someone who no longer fears lack. If you want love, your thoughts must stop asking where it is and begin moving like someone who is already deeply valued. This is where many people go wrong. They speak hopeful words while feeling desperate inside. They repeat phrases like a machine, but their heart remains tense, doubtful, unconvinced. Empty words do little. Words with feeling become power. The sentence matters, yes, but the state behind the sentence matters more. You must let the inner dialogue feel natural, gentle, believable, alive, not stiff, not forced, not frantic. This is not performance, this is inner alignment. And if it feels small at first, do not worry. A quiet new voice is still a new voice. Keep returning to it, keep strengthening it, keep choosing it until it begins to sound more familiar than the old story. That is when the shift begins to take hold. The first moments of the morning matter more than most people realize. Before the phone, before the noise, before the world tells you who you are. In that soft edge between sleep and waking, your mind is open, receptive, easy to guide. That is where your new inner conversation should begin. Before you even move, let your first thought come from the life you want to live, not from yesterday's problem, not from today's pressure, from fulfillment. If you desire a better life, wake as the version of you who is already living it. Let your mind quietly say, "This is working out for me. I am supported. I am stepping into greater peace. Things are moving in my favor. My life is opening in beautiful ways." Keep it simple. Keep it true in feeling. And as the day begins, protect that tone. Because the world will try to pull you back. An old memory may rise. Someone may say something careless. A bill may show up. A delay may appear. But here is your work. Do not let the outside rewrite the inside. This is the test. This is the training. When something unwanted appears, do not hand it the microphone in your mind. Pause, breathe, return. Say within, "This does not change who I am becoming. Everything is still moving into place." And stay with that. This is where power grows. Not in perfect conditions, but in consistent inner direction. Throughout the day, your inner talk should become a living atmosphere, not a forced chant. You are not meant to repeat the same sentence all day like a robot. You are meant to carry a state, a tone, a quiet knowing. As you walk, let your thoughts reflect the life already unfolding in your favor. As you eat, let gratitude move through you. As you answer messages, sit in meetings, drive through traffic, clean your home, or stand in line, keep the deeper conversation aligned, not loud, not dramatic, just steady. If someone around you complains, you do not need to argue with them, but inside remain rooted in your chosen reality. If the world talks fear, let your mind answer with trust. If the world shows delay, let your mind answer with certainty. This is the hidden practice. This is how a new self-concept is formed. And here is something important, so stay with me. Your inner conversations do not only shape events, they shape identity. The voice you repeat becomes the self you embody. If you keep telling yourself life is hard, you prepare for struggle. If you keep telling yourself nothing works out, you become tense and guarded. But if you begin to say, I am guided, I am capable, I am chosen for good, I move through life with favor, then slowly, deeply, your body, your choices, your reactions, and even your expectations begin to reorganize around that new pattern. That is not fantasy. That is training. Now, let us talk about doubt, because doubt will come. It may come as a whisper. It may come as a wave. It may sound like, this is silly, nothing is changing, you have tried before. Why would this work now? And when it appears, do not panic. Do not make doubt your enemy. And do not turn one doubtful moment into a long fall back into the old self. See it, catch it, replace it. That is all. The moment you notice your mind drifting into fear, gently guide it back. Say, no, that is not the story I live in anymore. Everything is unfolding in the right way. I am staying with my new state. This return is powerful. Every time you return, you weaken the old path and strengthen the new one. So if you slip, do not condemn yourself. Just redirect. If you react, recover. If you forget, remember again. The power is not in never wavering. The power is in how quickly you come back. This is how the new pattern wins, not by force, but by repeated loyalty. And yes, there may be moments when your senses shout louder than your vision, but senses show the result of old states. They are delayed mirrors. Your task is not to worship the mirror. Your task is to change the face before the mirror catches up. That is why you must stay steady. Not because the world already agrees with you, but because the world is still learning your new instruction. One of the strongest ways to deepen this practice is through gratitude, but not the weak kind that begs politely for what it still believes is far away. I mean the gratitude that belongs to possession, the gratitude that rises when the heart accepts, this is mine now in spirit, and what is true within will soon be visible without. Gratitude like this changes your whole inner chemistry. It softens strain, it quiets chasing, it makes your desire feel present instead of distant. So during these 3 days, let gratitude run through your inner speech often. Thank you for the peace now growing in me. Thank you that my life is opening. Thank you that I am no longer the old version of myself. Thank you that what belongs to me is finding me. Thank you that the path is forming even when I cannot yet see it clearly. These are not magic lines. They are ways of occupying the end, ways of dwelling in the feeling of arrival. And here is a retention line you need to hear. If you only remember one thing from this video, remember this. What you repeat with feeling becomes what you expect. What you expect begins to shape what you notice. What you notice influences what you experience. That is why inner speech matters so much. It is not small. It is not random. It is the seed stage of reality. So choose your seed carefully. Choose it when you rise. Choose it when challenged. Choose it before sleep. And keep choosing it until it begins choosing your life back. Night is especially powerful. The last conversation you have before sleep is not always with another person. Most often, it is with yourself. And those final moments sink deep. When the body grows still and the mind begins to loosen, the deeper layers within you become more open to suggestion. So do not carry fear into sleep if you can help it. Do not fall asleep replaying old failures, imagined arguments, or scenes of loss. Use that doorway wisely. As you lie down, let your mind rest in a short, calm, inner conversation that matches your fulfilled desire. If you want a thriving business, feel the relief of success and think, everything is growing beautifully. If you want healing, whisper within, my body is restoring itself in peace. If you want love, Let your heart say, I am cherished, chosen, and deeply cared for. Keep the phrase short. Let the feeling do the deeper work. And if images come naturally, see little scenes that imply your desires real. A friend congratulating you. A peaceful moment in your new home. A healthy reflection in the mirror. A bank alert that makes you smile. A simple conversation full of warmth and relief. Let it be vivid enough to feel personal, but gentle enough to feel natural. Then drift into sleep in that mood. This matters more than many realize. Sleep is not the end of your practice, it is a continuation of it. The inner tone you carry into the night often becomes the emotional atmosphere you wake up with in the morning. There is also something else you must learn during these 3 days. You must stop speaking against yourself outwardly. Your outer words do not need to become fake or exaggerated, but they should no longer betray your new direction. If you keep saying out loud, nothing ever works, I am so stressed, life is against me, people always disappoint me, then you keep feeding the same structure you are trying to leave. Yes, this does not mean you must become unrealistic. It means your speech should become cleaner, stronger, more intentional. If someone asks how you are, you do not have to recite your wounds as proof of honesty. You can answer from your chosen state with dignity. You can say, I am getting stronger. I am doing well. Things are moving in a good direction. I feel clearer. And this matters because outer speech reinforces inner identity. When your words line up inside and outside, the state becomes more stable. This is not about impressing others. It is about no longer using your own mouth to cancel your own prayer. Watch that closely, very closely, because many people build all day in the mind and tear it down in a casual conversation at night. Let that stop here. Let these 3 days become a sacred reset, a fast one, a deep one, a quiet but serious decision that you will no longer cooperate with the version of yourself that keeps expecting less, fearing more, and rehearsing pain like it is destiny. Now, I want to speak about what may happen during this 72-hour window, because if you understand the pattern, you will be less likely to quit. In the first day, the new state may feel fresh but slightly unnatural. You may feel inspired one moment and pulled back the next. That is normal. Old mental habits do not disappear in 1 hour. They loosen through repetition. During the second day, you may notice more resistance, strange doubts, emotional heaviness, even events that seem to challenge your new assumption. Do not be fooled. This often happens when the old pattern begins losing ground. And if you stay loyal through that middle stage, something begins to settle. By the third day, the new inner speech can start feeling more normal, more believable, more like you. You stop trying so hard. You begin to think from the new state instead of merely thinking about it. And that shift is huge. That is where many desires begin taking on real momentum. So if the middle feels messy, keep going. If the second day feels strange, keep going. If something seems to contradict your aim, especially then, keep going. Because what looks like disorder can be rearrangement, what looks like silence can be formation, and what feels like delay may be the final stage before movement. Watch this part carefully. Most people stop because they think the challenge means failure. Often it means the opposite. Often it means the old structure is cracking, so do not break your focus in the middle of transformation. Stay with it. You are closer than the surface would suggest. You must also learn the art of revision. This is one of the cleanest ways to reclaim your mind from old emotional patterns. If something painful happened today, do not keep living it over and over exactly as it occurred. Change it within. If a conversation hurt you, replay it the way you wish it had gone. Hear the kind words instead of the harsh ones. Feel understanding instead of rejection. If you made a mistake, do not brand yourself with it. Revise the scene. See yourself calm, wise, effective. This does not erase responsibility. It changes the impression left in consciousness, and impressions matter. They become future tendencies. So why keep planting scenes of failure? Why keep handing your subconscious a script of defeat? Rewrite it, clean it, lift it. Do this with the day before sleep if needed. Turn the sharp edges soft. Turn the wrong turn into a lesson already integrated. Turn the emotional wound into a healed memory. This is how you stop carrying yesterday into tomorrow. And listen carefully here, because this is important for retention. The mind does not only respond to what happened, it responds to what is emotionally accepted as true. That means the scenes you repeatedly relive become powerful, whether they are painful or empowering. So choose wisely what gets replayed on the inner screen. Let your memory become a servant of your future, not a prison built from your past. Your inner world should become less like a courtroom and more like a creative studio, where everything is being shaped toward wholeness, strength, and fulfillment. Another deep part of this training is learning to think from identity, not just from outcome. Many people focus only on getting the thing, the house, the money, the text message, the opportunity. But a stable result usually grows from a stable self-concept. So ask yourself often during these 3 days, who am I being in my inner speech? Am I speaking as someone chosen, secure, and grounded, or as someone still begging life to prove my worth? This matters. Because if you become the kind of person who feels safe, valuable, supported, and worthy, many outer changes begin flowing more naturally. Not because you forced them, but because you stop broadcasting the old signal. If you want success, speak as a successful person speaks within, calm, clear, resourceful, able. If you want love, speak as someone lovable and cherished speaks within, warm, settled, respected, open. If you want abundance, think as someone supported by life, thinks within, relaxed, thankful, expectant, wise. This is not arrogance, it is inner order. And once that order grows strong enough, choices improve, reactions soften, and what once felt far away begins to feel fitting. The outer world often mirrors the role you have accepted inside, so choose the role carefully. Then stay in character with sincerity. Like an actor fully entering a scene, do not keep stepping out every 10 minutes to check whether the play is working. Live it. Feel it. Let it breathe through your words, posture, attitude, and assumptions. That is when the unseen starts becoming visible. There will be times when the outside looks completely opposite to what you are choosing within. This is where discipline becomes sacred. If a delay appears, do not call it defeat. If a person acts cold, do not write the whole story from one moment. If your bank account is still tight, do not declare yourself abandoned. Stay larger than the snapshot. Stay deeper than the appearance. What you see in front of you is often the echo of older mental patterns, not the final report of your present state. This is why reacting too quickly can reset the very thing you're trying to establish. When something unwanted appears, train yourself to pause and interpret it differently. Tell yourself, this is not the end of the story. Things are still shifting. What I do not yet understand may be working in my favor. I remain faithful to my inner direction. These words matter because they stop you from collapsing back into fear. And remember this line because it can save your focus. Not every contradiction is a denial. Sometimes it is a bridge. Sometimes what looks wrong for a moment is simply rearrangement. Sometimes the path bends before it opens, so stay steady. Stay inwardly anchored. Let your new assumption become more authoritative than the evidence of your senses. That is not denial, that is mastery of state. And over time you will notice something surprising. You become less shaken, less reactive, more stable, not because life stopped moving, but because you stopped letting every movement define you. That inner stability is part of the manifestation too. In many ways, it is the first proof that the process is working. You may also notice small signs before the larger result appears. A sudden message, a useful idea, a shift in someone's tone, an unexpected opportunity, a strange but helpful coincidence. Welcome these moments, but do not cling to them. Do not become desperate for signs. Signs are not the goal. They are only gentle hints that your inner state is beginning to echo outward. Receive them with gratitude and continue. The deeper work is still the same. Remain in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Do not dig up the seed every hour to see if it is growing. Let it root. Let it rise in its own natural way. One of the most powerful attitudes you can practice here is calm detachment, not coldness, not lack of care. A quiet certainty, the kind that says it is done within. And what is done within has its own time and path of appearance. When you rest in that feeling, you stop chasing, you stop squeezing. You stop checking the horizon every 5 minutes. That peace alone makes your state more fertile, because anxious obsession often comes from not truly accepting the end. But once you accept it, you breathe differently, you walk differently, you think differently. And yes, you still take action when needed, but your action comes from alignment, not panic. You answer the email, you make the call, you apply, create, speak, move, decide. But the energy is different, no longer frantic, no longer needy. Feels guided, clean, timely. That is what inspired action feels like. It rises naturally from the state you have accepted. It is not forced labor to make life listen. It is the outer expression of inner conviction. So for these 3 days, Make this your quiet assignment. Watch your inner speech. Clean it, strengthen it, soften it where it has been cruel, lift it where it has been weak, direct it where it has been random. Let every morning begin from fulfillment. Let every challenge become a cue to return. Let your gratitude deepen the feeling of already having. Let your nights seal the state in peace. Revise what needs revision. Refuse to narrate yourself as broken, unlucky, forgotten, or powerless. Stop handing those roles your energy. Take your place again as the one who chooses the inner script, because that script becomes your atmosphere, and your atmosphere shapes your life. If you stay faithful for these 3 days, something will begin moving in you and around you. Maybe quietly first, maybe subtly, but truly. And once you feel that first shift, protect it, nourish it, continue. Do not treat this as a one-time experiment only. Let it become a way of living, a way of meeting life from Samdi, Daidi, Sachi, Insinsitwa, Fi, Dartid, and if this message reached you at the right moment, then do not just admire it. Practice it, starting tonight, starting now. Speak to yourself like the person you are becoming. Speak to yourself like your life is listening, because it is. Stay with it for 3 days. Stay honest, stay gentle, stay consistent, and then watch how differently the world begins to answer you. If you felt this deeply, hold that feeling. Do not let it fade when the video ends. Carry it with you. That is where the real change begins.